Hi guys, how are you all this week? This week I'd like to talk to you a little bit about what it's like living in the world without God, what the steps of living with God can be like, and how important it is to live with God. So this week I'd like to start by asking you a question. Do you think it's important to live for God? Well, you see, our lives start out and really we don't live for God. You guys have a very big head start on where I started out because I didn't have a family that went to church or followed Christ. It was something that I had to build on my own. But this week I'd like to use an object example for you, and hopefully you can see it. I've got a couple eggs here. You can see here's one and here's two. Okay, so this first egg is just an egg. It's nothing special, just an egg. But here's the thing. This egg, sorry, my video is a little wonky. This egg is like living in the world without God. We protect ourselves with a hard shell. We try to avoid the world. We try to avoid what people are saying about us and build a shell around ourselves so that we're not hurt. But you see, what happens is the world eventually breaks down our shell and destroys us. And what would happen when you break the shell? Let's watch and see. So it's hard for me to tell what you guys are seeing here. So let's just, we'll do it this way. So here's the shell, and I'm going to break it in my hand. And this is what it's like living in the world, because without Christ, we are empty. There's nothing inside. We're just empty and without Christ. And you see, eventually, when we come to Christ and we live in the world through Christ, well, we start with our hard shell, but really what our hard shell living with Christ is, it's more of a protection that Christ gives us on the outside. But as we accept Christ and we learn to follow him, you see, we become protected from the inside out. And being protected from the inside out allows us to maybe, just trying to find something here to help me so you guys can see and I can use both my hands. You see, as we're protected, okay, see, our shell can come off because God protects us from the inside out, right? So now our protective shell on the outside is still there, but we don't need it as much because God's on the inside, right? So as we grow with Christ, we get to see our protective shell come off, and as we blossom and grow in Christ, we open ourselves up to the world, to the people that need God, that don't have God. So you see, now we're an egg without a shell, but we're also protected by Christ. And deep down inside that white exterior, or the skin, could be any color, I guess, not just white, we've got the light of Christ inside of us. And this light right here is what God used to build us up, to strengthen us, and to allow us to live in this world with Christ and no longer just an empty shell. So I hope you guys have learned something this week. But I'd also like to touch a little more on this, and I'd like to give you a little something to think about. So what I want each of you to do this week is I want you to talk to your parents about what it's like to live for Christ. Not just that, but talk to your parents about what you can do. Because we have a lot of people in our church who, with the COVID restrictions in place, they don't get to see anybody. So maybe this week or in the coming weeks, each of you could make a card for one of the seniors in our church to brighten their day and give them some hope in these dark times. So just naming a few, there's Maureen, Jerry, Pops, Yvonne, Marion, Peter and Elsie, and I know I'm missing some. I know there's Louise Schmidt as well, and Joy Richmond. If you guys could just make a card or a small note just to brighten their day and let them know you're thinking about them, that'd be such a wonderful thing. And if you reach out to me or have your parents reach out to me, I will gladly collect and deliver them for you. I love each and every one of you. I hope you're all having a good day. I miss you. I'll see you soon, I hope. God bless.